Dissection of exploring the object. Sequence diagram showing steps of exporting remote object in Java remote method invocation. Now we are considering a dissection of exporting the object. Here you can see sequence diagram showing steps of exporting remote object. The process of exporting object can be divided into two basic steps: creation of live ref for the remote object, to exporting remote object. To provide automatic exporting of remote object, the unicast remote object class is used as the base class for remote object. Once the object of live ref is created for remote object, it is passed to the constructor of unicast ref class, and after object of unicast server ref get created, after that the object of unicast server ref is get created. This figure explains the steps of exporting remote object. TCP transport creates the server socket listening mode for TCP endpoint class and inner class accept loop. TCP transport is an active class that wait for new client connection request. When a new connection request arrive, TCP transport get a new instance of connection handler class. By passing the socket, which returns as a result of accept of server socket and string representation of inet address. Socket.get inet address. It receives the connection calls and delegates the calls to unicast server ref. Then it calls the skeleton to dispatch the invocation. The skeleton returns the result using the instance of stream remote call class. Created during the remote method invocation. The naming.rebind method, which is called in the server program, takes an argument type of reference of remote object. The naming class construct an object of stub and bind it to RMI registry objects. Following steps explain the process of exporting an object. One naming class uses get class method to get the name of the class for the remote object. Two, it appends underscore stub to the name of the class to get stub name. 3, it loads the stub class from JVM. 4, it gets an object of remote ref. Method object of a remote ref from the reference from the remote object by calling getRef method, which passed as an argument to naming.rebind method. The remote ref object represent the mid handle for the remote object. This the reference to the remote object encapsulate all details about remote service object, service server, such as services hostname, listening port, and so on. 5, it uses the object of remote ref created in step 4 to construct stub of remote object. Each stub contains an instance of class implementing remote ref interface. 6, it passes the stub object created in step 5 and public name of remote service object of RMI registry for binding. RMI registry gets the public name and stub object. in a table structure. Now we are considering dissection of invoking remote method. For Java RMI client to for a Java RMI client to connect to a remote Java RMI service, the client must first hold a reference to a remote service object. The naming lookup method is called is the most common mechanism by which the client initially obtain references to the remote services. Naming lookup returns the reference to the remote object. This reference is of type remote ref interface. On the client side, unicast ref class is an implementation of remote ref, whereas on the server side it's the unicast server ref. Every remote reference contains a server hostname and a port number that allows client to locate the virtual machine VM that is serving a particular remote object. Following steps explain the process of invoking a remote method. Once we have reference to an object of unicast ref, internally its get channel method will be called, which returns the object of TCP channel class. Dissection of internal working of RMI, possible enhancement of authentication in standard Java RMI. 2. Then new connection method of TCP channel class will be called, inside which the array list of existing free TCP connection will be checked. If it finds the free TCP connection, it will remove that connection from array list and return it. 3. If it does not get the free connection, then create connection method of TCP channel class will be called, which create a new TCP connection and socket instances. When there is no connection available, then it will write the transport header information to output stream of TCP connection. 4. Object of stream remote call class will be created, which writes remote call header and object ID in the remote object. 5. All method arguments are marshaled according to their type, then return to the output stream of TCP connection. The execute call method of the stream remote call object will be called, which will wait for getting magic number of successful execution of remote method. RMI specification defines both single op and stream protocol for RMI calls. The single op allows the single RMI call to made on a socket, which is then closed. The stream allows the multiple RMI calls. Sans RMI implementation uses stream protocol, which allows the client-side stub object to make multiple RMI calls by opening a single socket. Multiple stubs within the same JVM or different JVM on the same host will each have their own socket to server. If client has multiple stubs pointing to same server object, same server object, the client will have multiple sockets open to that server. Here you can see RobJ my object, unicast remote object, USR unicast server ref, unicast ref, LR live ref, util proxy, ROIH LH ROIH remote object invocation handler, EP TCP endpoint. Here you can see a USR unicast server unicast server ref is connected to unicast ref via super LR live ref, and unicast ref is connected to USR unicast server ref. And here unicast remote object is connected to via is connected is port object rob j remote USR unicast server ref and return remote. Here unicast remote object is connected to USR unicast server ref, export via export object remote null object false boolean returns remote. And here USR unicast server ref is connected to robj my object via get class method returns class. Here robj my object is connected to connected to USR unicast server ref via return C. Here USR unicast server ref is connected to util via create proxy C class ref remote ref host stub is boolean returns remote. Here util is connected to ROIH remote object remote obj invocation handler via remote object invocation obj invocation handler ref remote ref. And here util is connected to proxy via new proxy instance C class loaders AC class ROIH remote obj invocation handler remote, and proxy is connected to util via return remote 1, and util is connected to unicast server ref via return remote 1. Here USR unicast server ref is connected to T target via target remote this unicast server ref remote remote object obj id object obj id true flag. Here and then USR unicast server ref is connected to LR live ref via export object T target void, and LR live ref is connected to EP TCP endpoint via export object one target void, and here create server socket listening mode using TCP transport, TCP endpoint, and access loop classes. And EP TCP endpoint is connected to LR live ref. LR live ref is connected to USR unicast server ref. USR unicast server ref is connected to unicast remote object, and then it's going through here and it's connected to unicast remote object is connected to robj my object here. Now this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for watching it.